Hello, cutie. I hope you are doing absolutely fantastic today, and thank you so much for coming back to my next podcast. I'm so excited to have you here today, and I just want to check in with you and your acting journey. So, this is one of the most important steps in the acting business or any business that requires you to say things off the top of your head: memorization. Now, memorization is an absolute necessity to make it into the acting business. You can't be a successful actor without it, and some people have trouble memorizing, and I was in that same position. I would get mad or irritated or annoyed when I wasn't able to memorize something. Now I can memorize 5 monologues and recite them in the same time period. Now, once you show directors that you have this ability, you're able to easily impress them and save a lot of hassle for yourself, because it is super rare that a casting director will allow you to walk into an audition and let you read off a script. Now, memorization for most people doesn't come very easily. In fact, I was just reflecting on memorization, and I was thinking, that I really went from reading 1 line to 2 lines from first grade into reading entire monologues, which were 2 to 3 minutes long, and memorizing an entire script. I remember, most people won't start acting so young. A lot of people will start acting a bit later in life. Some people may start when they're 3, and some people may start when they're in their 60s. Age truly and absolutely does not matter in acting. I know a lot of people will be self-conscious about which audiences, that they're reaching, like, oh, I want to reach this audience group, or, oh, I want to reach this audience group, and, this, that, and the third. And that is perfectly fine, as long as you don't dictate your acting skills and your ability to act simply based on what people have to say. I mean, if you're doing something wrong and it's pretty obvious, then of course it is all right to take feedback. Oh, and side note, always take feedback. Good or bad, there is always something to improve in your performance. So, memorization for me was something I learned throughout years of acting and, general memory. Like, if you listen to a play 100 times or a movie 100 times or been on set or anything like that, typically, in plays and theater, it will be like you've been on set for hours at a time. So after a period of time, you'll be aware of every blocking, every stage direction, lights and sounds. Even though you don't know the technicality of lights and sound, you'll still have a general idea of what's going on. And this isn't simply the case for actors and those that are seen on stage, but even those who are working behind the stage. I think that the people who work behind the scenes are highly, highly underappreciated. I've never worked behind the scenes or in publicity or anything, but I'm thinking of doing some work there now. And just a huge shout out to the people behind the scenes. Movies and theater would be nothing without you. We love you. So I remember the first time, my memory truly set in. I was acting in a play, and all of a sudden, it was like, wow, really like an aha moment, I know every line, almost every stage direction. It was a long time ago, but I knew everything, and it was so great back then. I knew that if someone were to forget their lines, that I would be able to back them up. Okay, so now into the actual information. So let's talk about memory. Memory is the reactivation of a specific group of neurons in the synapse. In order to memorize something, you have to be able to strengthen the synapse. It's critical for memory. So, what exactly can we do to strengthen our synapses? Well, here's a trick I learned. So, back when I first got into acting, I was very young and practically had just been some amount of years after I learned to read. So, I was acting in a play called Dear Edwina. And though I didn't have any lines in that play, my acting teacher was teaching the kids who did have lines how to memorize. It's all about speaking. Once you've heard something or said something multiple times, you obviously memorize it because it's become so familiar to you. Same with muscle memory. Once you've moved a certain way so many times, you don't really have to think about it that much before you do it. Like walking. It becomes so truly ingrained in your memory that you hardly even have to think about it once you've fully memorized what you have of your monologue. Then, as one of my acting teachers once told me, you have to become fully invested and fully aware of what's going on in your present monologue. The hardest part will truly be the memorization and the execution. The rest is the easiest thing to do. So, how do you actually memorize something? I'll help you. All right. So for monologues, what you want to do is record yourself reading the monologue in a completely neutral voice. I want you to listen to that monologue 5 times. Then I want you to read your monologue while listening to the recording 5 times. Then I want you to break down the monologue sentence by sentence and say each sentence 5 times. If the sentence is too long, break that down too. If this isn't working, then try writing it down a couple of times to get the hang of it. You see, this is going to take a while, but anything worth doing takes quite a while. Scenes are a little bit more difficult. First, try to memorize each line the way I taught you above. Next, the biggest thing you want to memorize is your cues. Now, you don't have to memorize all of your cues. Try picking up the last few words or specific words that stand out to you. Then you'll slowly get the hang of it. It'll get easier and easier. Oh, and I also recommend eating blueberries. They say it's great for the memory. Well, that's all I have for you today. Make sure you keep on trying to build your memory. I hope you have a fantastic day, and remember, you are born to play this role. I love you. Bye. Hello, cutie. I hope you are doing